that's pretty much all I want to get cleaned for now before I put it under the cover again. I need to move my yellow truck back, and then I'm going to be getting my Subaru Burrow off of the trailer and getting that sold. And we can make a little bit more room so that we can work in here and have one car off to the side at a time. So I'm going to get my truck moved up so that it's a little easier to work on the camper. And then I'm going to leave this guy in a spot that's easy to wheel around, and I can slowly work on this, give it a little bit of a sand back, work in a few spots. I did see that somebody has a few windshields left, so I'm going to see if I can pick up a windshield. It's the whole reason I never address the rust around here, is it's going to be very difficult to get this off with the clips and everything else, and the windshield isn't broken, it's just bubbling a little bit. But at some point I now will be able to get this taken off and address all the rust that's under here and at the edge of the dash as well. So it's nice to see that it's been sitting for this long and there's only a few spots that I am going to need to touch up, but for the most part I'm not really getting rust poking through, and this car is not going to last forever. If I have the ability to at some point, I'll work on a second one of these, take everything I learned from it and get it sandblasted ahead of time, do all the welding, and get it powder coated as well as a shell. So moving forward, it really just comes down to how much money you have for it, what you're trying to get out of it. In this case, I'm trying to drive it, I'm trying to take it to car shows, and I'm fine with it having a little patina over time. As I see rust bubbles occur, if I do see any, then I will sand those back and touch them up. Just like these guys right here, I'll just be careful about touching it up when I can and making sure that I address as much of the rust as I can along the seals and anything else that needs to be bolted on before I get it all buttoned up. So this car did come with an interior, nice red color to it. It's not a bad color, I like it. It's easy to hide the dust. This car is black and white themed, so if I really wanted to match it, I could go black or white, but black is hot in the summer, and that's what I'm planning to drive this most of the time in the summer, and white gets too dirty. If I'm able to keep this in the garage and under some kind of a dust cover, then I'd be fine with having a white seat, but at this point, I'm just happy that they're all upholstered. There is one small cut in the seat somewhere. I'm not too worried about that. The main things are going to be finishing up the door. I wanted to make sure to have one door worked on first so that I can leave the other door put together, make sure that as I'm taking it apart or just how it sits in the garage, I'd like to be able to have a secondary one, and I also have a spare sedan, so in case there's anything that's missing on the driver's side door of this car, I do have another option of looking at the other car as well. Some of the bolts and nuts will be replaced, most of it is just going to have to be cleaned up, and as soon as I can figure out a setup for electrolysis, that's probably going to be my best bet for most of these nuts and bolts. So I'll do my best. And I noticed on the van when I worked on the nuts and bolts on this side with the paint and what I did, it wasn't good enough, so electrolysis and recoating seems like the best option for me. So I'd rather do that at home in a controlled manner than potentially losing track of nuts and bolts. I can do it in, I just want a small setup, so I can do them in somewhat small batches and do my best to just work on small parts of the car at a time, maybe all the nuts and bolts for the door, get that all coated, and then be able to put that together all at once it's painted and ready. So I want to finish with this one, getting everything painted up, and the hardest thing with this is going to be the seals. So there is a guy who is remaking the seals, and hopefully I'll be able to work with him and show off some of the gaskets and some of the weather stripping and all of the parts that he's been able to recreate. So it's awesome that we have a pretty good community that's all working on different components of the car and trying to find the area that we can all help each other out. So someone manufactured a bunch of windshields, another guy manufactured the pistons and the rings, even some oversized ones, because if you're looking at new pistons, you probably need to go up a small size, but he was able to get, I think, 3 different sizes made And then there's a guy that's able to import tires, white walls and the black wall tires as well, and he might have one of the red stripe as well. You're able to get some baby moon hubcaps for these guys right here. I'll show you what that looks like. So here are the baby moon hubcaps. I painted them 2 different colors to try to figure out what I wanted for this car. So we do have the white on white wall. They're not perfect white walls. They are a little bit yellow, even once they get a kind of bleach treatment on it. There's a tire bleach cleaner that's really good for classic white walls. So I did go with the baby moons on this side with the white wall and the white rims. And then on this back side here, I'll show you what I got. So here are the white wall baby moons and the black rims. So hopefully that can show you kind of a sense of what it might look like with 2 different options. So I'm definitely going to be doing white walls and baby moons, but I'll decide on the rim color once we get closer to working on the other side of the car. So here is the back of it. This is the engine that I've been working on. There's still a few things I need to do. There is an engine mount or an exhaust mount right here that you can see is just zip tied at the moment. It worked for some testing, but that mount does need to get remade and sanded back and re-welded. A lot of the stuff that's on here is just because I didn't cover the engine when I was doing some of the wet sanding on the car. I have nice covers that are going to go over this that help direct the airflow from the fan over here. There needs to be a little bit better setup here for being able to prevent fuel leaking. I don't like where it sits at the moment, but you are able to turn off the gas quickly if you have any problems. But this right here, I need to put a slightly longer cable. That was something I figured out when I rerouted a bunch of the wires. So if you can see, there are as little wires as possible. I was able to tuck them all under here for the starter and everything, and most of the wires are going to be as tucked up as possible. So we just need to put a few components back on. One of the big problems is making sure that you can seal from the outside to the inside of the car. So I was able to 3D print this in a flexible filament, but it's not quite as tight as I need on one side, but it is good on the engine side. So I just need to make the top a little bit tighter, and then I'll try to help people get these at least as a 3D file. So I'm pretty happy with it. Everything was taken out to paint, so there are a few spots I'll have to clean up, a little bit of overspray, but I am very happy with how it turned out. I do need to find my engine cover that goes underneath and transmission cover, but everything's basically ready to go. We just need to get the starter turning again. It's really hard to get parts for these, and the last time that I was working on this was 2021, and there were still problems with shipping things. So we'll see if it's got any better, and I'll talk to some of the guys in my group because they may have found a solution since then. So here's the car. Cleaned up just a little bit. Hope you guys like it.